name is Matthew McCack, and I'm here with my brother, Justin McCack.
Hey, everybody.
This is Room 51, where we talk all things board gaming, and we are continuing our journey of our top 51 games, and This episode we are doing our top 30 to 21. I am excited, so let's start right in it. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, this is a cool list in my opinion. So my number 30 is one that you asked. Is this going to be on Justin's list? You can't see it being that much higher. I don't think it is that much higher than was on yours. I'm talking about the Bloody Inn.
Okay.
I love dark humor, and I feel that's what this game is. You get to kill the people staying at your hotel for money. It's hysterical, but it's a really good game, actually. The economics, the risk management, all that kind of stuff makes for a great game. So I really enjoyed this one. That's my number 30, the Bloody Inn.
Can I just say, do I know you or what?
Dead.
Alright, my number 30 is...
You do know me pretty well, though, in terms of my games. Yeah.
My number 30 is a game that I think you were referring to last episode, hoping that it would be on my list, and it is on my list. It's a trader game, probably my favorite party trader game, and it is Deception Murder in Hong Kong. And I am not even going to talk about it all that much because I know this kid is going to have it on his list much higher. But essentially, you're trying to figure out who is the murderer, how they did it, what did they do it with. And I'm going to leave it at that. So that's my number 30, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's an okay game, I think.
Yeah.
That got me nervous. Like, oh man, did you put it or not? All right, though. Very cool.
I got you.
So, my number 29 is a really fun team versus team game. I'm talking about Decrypto. So, it's one of those, word games where, it's kind of hard to explain, actually, but once people play it, they usually have to get through a round or two, and then they're like, oh, that's what's happening. Okay, I got this. So each team has a set of 4 words that the other team can't see. And then somebody on each team is going to get a number that's going to be okay, 4, 3, and 1. So you have to write out your clues in order of okay, I want them to say number 4, the 4th word first, then the 3rd word, and then the 1st word. And if they're able to, you want your team to be able to keep getting the right ones. But you don't want your opposing team to know what you're talking about because they're going to be taking notes and they're going to try to start figuring out okay, they just said this and that really correlates to this, so I think it's number 4. And if they're able to decrypt what your words are and stuff, they'll win the game, or you might want to try it. It's a lot of fun.
It is. It's really
Check it out. If you like word games, you like team versus team, it's a fantastic game.
All right, good pick. My number 29 is a game that I wish hit the table more, but it's my number 29. It's in the 20s.
Yeah, it's up there.
So it is Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle-earth by Fantasy Flight Games. I love the Lord of the Rings theme. This one also has app integration, which I like, and it's just a lot of fun. You have it's simple. The game is so simple. It's campaign driven, and over time you're building up your deck and everything, and getting different boons and stuff. And you're trying to figure out am I going to use this card for its ability or something else? Right. I love when games do that, when they give you that choice. And I'm kind of thinking of just totally starting over. Playing it just completely solo by myself because I had 3 different campaigns going on, and so the cards were all over the place. I was getting confused, so I'm you know what? I'm going to start over, play by myself, screw everybody. My number 29, Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle-earth.
Right. Yeah, that's one where I think if you played it more and it hit the table more, I could see that being a top 10 game.
I think so, yeah.
All right, cool. So my number 28 is this Euro-y abstract. It's listed as an abstract strategy on Board Game Geek, and it is sort of I'm talking about Reef. It's a lot of fun. You're building your own coral reef, trying to store these different objective cards, and it's one of those games again where you kind of get a choice because you're going to grab cards where you can either use it to score your reef, or you can I'm sorry I'm misspeaking. It's not a choice. What you're doing is the big decision is what order you're going to play and how you're going to structure your reef, because when you play a card, you're going to score and add new corals from each card, and you really want to try to figure out okay, how am I going to store the most points? How am I gonna build out this reef to make sure that I'm really maximizing this card and this card, all that kind of stuff. It's a ton of fun. I really enjoy Reef. It's another one that goes a bit under the radar, and a lot of people, it seems like a lot of people think it's because it came out very close to Azul, and Azul really took the cake.
It did, but I think Reef is the better game.
I agree.
And it's beautiful.
It is. It's a very pretty game.
My number 28 has fallen a bit. It was my number 8 last year.
Wow.
So it's fallen out of my top 10, but I still really love this game. It's by Ryan Lockett, and I always want to say Lockhart from Harry Potter.
I always want to say Lockett. Like Lockett. I don't know why.
Anyway, this designer has amazing artwork. He has an amazing universe that he's created, and I'm talking about Near and Far, specifically, the board game, and I've been playing this a lot. I've been playing through the campaign, the 10-part campaign or whatever. We haven't done the
10
character.
scenarios?
Yeah. We haven't done the character stuff yet. But me and my fiance have been playing it, and it's been a lot of fun. I think it's just dropped because I wish that the story was a little more cohesive than it is.
Okay.
But the gameplay is a lot of fun. It's got worker placement, but then also there's like this adventuring and stuff that's going on. Different special abilities, quests, story is there, which is fun and cool. So that is my number 28, Near and Far.
That's awesome. Okay. So my number 27 is a game that's a little hard to hit the table for. I think it's just a game that people don't really reach for. But I find it a ton of fun. I'm talking about Istanbul. So Istanbul is this cool little Euro game. Well, it's not really that little. But it's this cool Euro game that plays in about 45 minutes to an hour, where you are able to like move 2 spaces to do the action on this like whatever space you landed on, and then as you're moving, you're dropping off discs, and you have to figure out like, okay, I need to be able to pick up discs again, or I'm gonna have to wind up going back to the fountain to gather all my discs back, all that kind of stuff. And it's a racing Euro where you want to be the first to get 5 gems. If you're the first to do that, you win the game immediately. I find it a ton of fun. Like, I just think the game is really smooth. It's very snappy and smooth. And I love the different actions on the different spaces. Yeah,
you're kind of making me want to play it right now, actually. I usually am not in the mood to play it, but every time it hits the table, I really enjoy it.
We should play it.
Okay.
All right.
My number 27 is a game that used to be in my top 10 at one point. I don't know where it was last year. Okay. Actually, it was my number 21 last year, so it keeps dropping down a little bit. But I think it's just because it doesn't hit the table all that much, and because the developers or the publishing company just kind of didn't support it afterwards, and I don't know why they refused to do it. It's by Riot Games, and I'm talking about Mechs versus Minions. We are huge League of Legends players, video game players. We love that game. And Mechs versus Minions is based in that universe, and it's a programming game where you're cooperatively going through these scenarios. It's campaign-based again. I think we only have about 3 more scenarios left.
Yeah, we're close. We're very close.
But it's you get your cards. It's a card drafting, but that's time, so you can't be like, just pick something. And then you're making your program, and your mech at first is going all wonky, and then finally it's a mean, lean death machine, baby.
Yeah.
And you're just blasting through minions and trying to complete whatever objective it is for that particular scenario. And it was the first game I ever painted the miniatures for.
Oh, I actually didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I thought it was shadows. That would be my guess. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Mets vs. Minions is a game that I don't, I think everybody expected them to come out with more board games by now.
I think the next one is going to be an abstract strategy. I'm like, no, just come out with more Mechs vs. Minions stuff.
Yeah, give me more. Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's a fantastic game, great bang for your buck.
Yeah,
I don't know if it still is.
I don't know if it's in print. I have no idea.
At the time, it was like $75, and you got amazing quality.
Things. And the production was awesome.
Yeah.
Still is. It holds up today.
That's a good one. That one didn't hit my list, and I think it's just because, we haven't played it in a bit, all these different things, but it's a fantastic game. Alright, so I'm up to, so number 26. Number 26 is...
26, sorry.
Number 26, I don't even know how to describe why I love it, it almost feels like this party-ish game, right? So I'm talking about Dixit. Dixit is a game where it really taps into your creative side, where you're looking at these cards that have beautiful artwork, and somebody, whose ever turn it is to do it, they're going to say a sentence, a phrase, a word of their choice, and then put down a card that word is referring to. Then everybody will put down cards trying to make it sound like, oh yeah, my card is the one they placed down. And then everything will be revealed, and all of the players, other than the one that said the phrase, is going to have to vote on who they think, which card is the phrase giver's card.
Yeah.
It creates a ton of fun. It's one of those games where you want to have some people guess yours and not all of them. And the game's artwork is fantastic. I want to get more cards. There's an expansion for it, correct?
There's a bunch of expansions,
right, okay.
and I would like to have at least one.
Yeah, I feel like it's a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
I love it. You can play it with a lot of people, a lot of different types of people,
okay.
I meant. Like, so many different types of people will enjoy this game.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Dixit.
Yeah, that is a good one. All right, cool. My number 26 is a game that you've already spoken about. It's a little bit higher on my list. And it is Shadows over Camelot.
Oh,
I like it for a lot of the same reasons that you like it. Even like the poker mechanism of it. Like, we grew up playing poker, for Oreos. And it's just a lot of fun. It was a game that we played a ton of. And I would say that was the first game I bought when I decided I'm getting into this hobby now. Like, for reals. I'm going heads deep into it. And that was the first game I picked up. We played the heck out of it, and I'm really sad that it is out of print right now, and I hope it comes back.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I'm actually surprised that it's this high on your list. I wasn't expecting it to be in the 20s.
I really like it. At one point, it was in my top 10.
I did see that. No, that made sense.
For some reason, last year it was my number 31, so it kind of moved up for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. We did play it again recently. That might have had an impact. So my number 25, actually, is the one where Melissa pointed out, are you sure you don't have any abstract strategies on your list, Justin? Any others? And now I realize she's correct. I am talking about Santorini. This is a two-player game where each player has workers, trying to move them, get buildings. You want to be the first one to get to the top. There's these awesome god powers in the game. In the base game, it comes with 30 different god powers. You can add an expansion that adds like 10 more or 15 more or something. Those god powers make the game super replayable. Yeah. Like, beforehand, it's already pretty replayable. It's very fun, but the god powers just add so much variability. Yeah. It's phenomenal. And I don't know, we might be seeing this later on your list. I'm not positive. I just feel like it would be higher than I expected for your list. I could be wrong, though. But that is my number 25, Santorini.
That is my favorite abstract strategy game. It did not make my list, though.
Fair enough.
But my number, where are we at?
So 25. I just said 25, yeah.
So my number 25 is a little card game, cooperative, super hard, and we just got the expansion, which adds another element of coolness to it, and it is the Grizzled.
Nice, okay.
This is a really fun game where you can't talk about what cards you have in your hand. They're all bad except for one card in the deck. One card only, but everything else is bad, and essentially you are trying to get through each mission and trials and all these sort of things and survive and win the game and have all cards out of your hand by the end of it without having met one of the doom criteria
kind of thing.
Where your characters die or whatever. But it deals with World War One. And the characters in the game were actual soldiers, I believe, in World War One. So I think it was in tribute to them, and it deals with like PTSD, trauma, all that sort of stuff. And but I don't know, it's a lot of fun, and I like that game a lot. The Grizzled, my number 25.
That's a really good one. I like it. So my number 24 is easily one of my favorite push your luck games, if not my favorite. And I'm talking about Celestia. So Celestia, also known as Cloud 9. It's the exact same game, right?
Yeah, just Celestia is the reprint.
Alright, I want to double check on that. So Celestia is this really cool one where it's like a rotating captain. You're trying to get as far as you can on the journey. You have to decide, like, okay, am I going to stay on the ship, or am I gonna head off and just be happy with where I got kind of thing. The game is super fun. It takes about like 30 minutes max, an hour to play.
I don't even say an hour.
Yeah, if it takes an hour, that's pretty freaking long. The game is just a lot of fun. It's goofy. Sometimes we turn into an almost co-op of like, no, we gotta all try to make it.
Yeah, and then people
Yeah.
backstab you.
Yeah.
Sabrina.
Actually, I was the one that really
Justin.
backstabbed you last time. Yeah.
Everybody's backstabbing me, and I'm the one trying to turn it into a co-op.
Disgusting.
Unbelievable.
It's a lot of fun though. I definitely recommend Celestia if you're into push your luck.
All right, that's a good one. My number 24 is another one versus all game. I really like 1v all games. This is another one that's out of print that I didn't realize, but I was yelled at on the internet about it. And this is 4th edition, Fury of Dracula 4th edition by WizKids. That was out for about 5 minutes apparently, and then went out of print. I don't know why.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I had no idea it was out of print because it's only been it came out like last year or something. I don't understand. But anyway, this is a really good game where one player is playing as Dracula and they're moving around Europe, I guess, in old times or whatever. But apparently there were trains. And you are playing as the investigators from the books, like Van Helsing and whatever.
The others,
whatever their names are. But anyway, yeah, and you're trying to catch Dracula. You're trying to gear up, and when you catch him, that's not all you have to do. You have to defeat him. You have to drive a stake through his heart or something, right? Like you're trying to whittle down his life points essentially.
Yes.
While he's also setting up traps and trying to spread his influence all across the map, which is really cool. So that is my number 24, Fury of Dracula, 4th edition.
That is a fantastic one, for sure. I forgot that game is out of print. That is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 23, you mentioned the 2-player version of this game earlier on your list, and I'm talking about Seven Wonders. So Seven Wonders is a phenomenal card drafting game. Kind of like, so
You used to hate it.
I did. I used to not like this game,
I knew
and
it
is phenomenal though. I didn't like it because I played it too much with Melissa.
Yeah,
Once I started
that was right,
to expand my horizons, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
No, but so Celestia to me is push your luck, really well done, and that's its main driving force. Seven Wonders is card drafting, and that's pretty much the whole game. It's card drafting, really well done. So if you want to show someone push your luck, look at my last pitch. Celestia is perfect for it. Card drafting, I can't think of a better way to show someone card drafting than Seven Wonders. My number 23, Seven Wonders.
All right, and my number 23 is another 2-player game, and I don't know if you'll call this a board game, but I put it on the list anyway because it's so much fun, and I love it, and I don't care. We're talking about Clask.
Okay, interesting.
And I put this, so this was before we even had the 4-player Clask, which is a lot of fun.
It is fun,
And so I'm just going to combine the two. I love both of them. Clask goes up to 2 players, but then there's the 4-player Clask, and it plays a little bit differently, but essentially the same thing where it's kind of like air hockey, but with magnets, and there's these little biscuits out on the field, and there's a few different ways. You don't want those biscuits to attach to you, okay? So everything's a magnet sort of game, and you're trying to get the little ball into the opponent's hole and everything. So that is my number 23, Clask.
I decided not to put Clask on my list because I didn't know how to compare it to these other games. So I just had absolutely no clue where to put it. I absolutely love the game.
Yeah.
I just have no clue where to put it on this list. I couldn't tell, how do I compare Clask to Seven Wonders? And that was my problem.
Yeah, I just viewed it as a dexterity game.
That's exactly how I would view it, but it was too tricky for me. Alright, so my number 22 is a beautiful game where you are making wine. It is a really fun game from Stonemaier Games called Viticulture. And Viticulture, you're kind of creating this whole sort of engine where you want to, harvest grapes, and then with those grapes you want to make certain types of wine, and then you fulfill these contracts to give yourself victory points by selling this wine off. I have a ton of fun with Viticulture every time. The mechanics, the strategy and everything, the smoothness of going from harvesting grapes to making them into wine and fulfilling contracts, I love it. It's super smooth.
Yeah, that's one that just missed my list.
Okay.
I have it in my just missed it column.
Interesting.
I think I just want to play it more. That's really what it is. And,
Right.
and I'm sure it would make the list if I played some more.
That's fair.
But my number 22 is a cooperative real-time strategy game. I guess I really like RTS games.
Real time's fun.
Real-time is fun. We're video gamers, man. So,
Yeah.
of course, we like those RTS. But, yeah, this one, you can't talk with your other players, and it is Magic Maze.
Yes.
This game goes up to 8 players. There's 4 pawns, and you don't actually control any of the pawns. You control the direction in which pawns can move, or like if it could use escalators or the portal, things like that. And then as you go through each scenario, it's almost like a tutorial. Like
Right.
it keeps telling you more and more about what the game has to offer. And actually, we're still not up to playing the entirety of all the rules. But each of the pawns do have their own special abilities when you get down and dirty into all of it.
Yeah.
And then there's even more scenarios where you could like change up the objectives and everything. But that one is a super fun game for me. My number 22, Magic Maze.
Nice. Yeah, no, Magic Maze is a ton of fun. My number 21 is a co-op game that you mentioned earlier. Card-driven. It is called The Grizzled. It's a ton of fun. I'm not going to speak too long about it because the way you said it, it's kind of like copy and paste. That's exactly it. I love hard co-ops, and
Yes.
this is a fun, hard co-op. I love it when nothing's working in your advantage. You gotta try to figure it out. Love that. The Grizzled nails it.
Yeah. We have found that it is easier to win at 3 players.
Yes, I agree.
We figured that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. So my number 21 is a competitive game this time, and it is deduction, and it kills Clue.
Yeah.
It is awkward guess.
It's a
It
good
is
one.
the game if people who like Clue really want to get into the hobby, you got to get them to play awkward guess. It is not all that complicated.
No, it's not.
Especially if they're willing to like actually get into the hobby and everything of board gaming. But it is so good, like as to who's lying, who's just giving you false information just because like they just weren't sure of the event,
Right.
so they're just telling you or whatever. And it's about like, okay, who did it, where, why, like what was their
Yeah, what's the
motive,
motive?
things like that. How did they do it? What room?
Right.
And it's just really, really good. And you want to be the first player to guess what it is, and it benefits you to give players information.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
driving force of the
Yes.
game. You have to give other people information and they give you information.
Right,
It's a
right.
big part of it.
Yeah, which was a huge problem with Clue. It's like, well, why should I give you information?
Yeah. Now the game is phenomenal.
Yeah, so that's my number 21. Awkward guess, and I believe that finishes
That is
us
it.
off for this list. Thank you so much for watching. Catch us back with our top 20 to 11. We're almost there at the heights of the height. And this has been Room 51. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.